Coming up on SUTV, we'll tell you about USA's Olympic performance.
And we'll let you know about the Red Flag campaign at SUU.
Welcome to SUTV News. I'm Lizzie Lee.
And I'm Amy Andre. With the first week of Olympic competition underway, the United States is in 5th place in the medal count. The U.S. has 3 gold medals, all from snowboarding events. The first gold medal went to the first-time Olympian Red Gerard, who won men's slopestyle. Gerard and Chloe Kim, the women's half-pipe gold medalist, are 2 of the youngest U.S. athletes at the Games. Both are 17. The U.S. figure skating team won bronze and took home a silver medal in men's luge. First for country tonight at 6 p.m., gold medal favorite Michaela Schiffner will make our Olympic debut in the women's giant slalom, and Shaun White will try to top his 98-point run in the men's halfpipe finals.
The Cedar Saturday Market is more than a seasonal fruit and vegetable stand. Jenna Chapman took a look inside the gathering at IFA.
From fresh cuts of meat to warm tamales and handmade dolls to polished geodes, the Cedar Saturday Market has something for everyone.
It brings a nice mix. People can come and buy, whether it's food or whether it's a gift or something that's handcrafted, so that's been a nice mix.
The market is a partnership with IFA. Last Saturday, the market offered free beef and lamb kebabs made with D9 meats, which were cooked on an IFA pellet grill.
It brings in a clientele that we probably normally wouldn't get, and the atmosphere is fun and the people are enjoyable. It just makes for a fun morning.
Each month, the market offers a kids activity and a bingo day. Last Saturday, D9 Meats celebrated their 10th anniversary with cake, and children made Valentine's Day cards. And there are more ways they try to give back to the community.
We also do a couple times a year fundraising things for the Care and Share in the Women's Crisis Center, because we care about our community just as much as our community cares about us.
The Cedar Saturday Market meets every Saturday inside or outside of IFA from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. For SUTV News, I'm Jenna Chapman.
SUU's Wellness Center is hosting a Red Flag campaign this week. The Red Flag campaign is meant to draw awareness to warning signs of unhealthy or abusive relationship. The Wellness Center set up flags on the business quad to draw attention to the cause. Students and community members can stop by the business quad between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. this week to write a warning on a flag.
SUU is revamping its on-campus dining options. First, the university rebranded Crisp into Sono, which now offers students Mexican cuisine. Fat Zeus, a food truck here in Cedar City, took the place of the former T-Bird Grill last semester and gives students the chance to try Greek food. The 2 newest restaurants are Pork Bellies Express and Purple Oasis. Pork Bellies is an extension of a restaurant in Cedar and offers barbecue favorites. Purple Oasis is the new healthy option on campus, bringing students acai bowls and smoothies.
It is flu season in Cedar City. So far, Iron County has reported 121 hospitalized cases of the flu. Flu season lasts from October until May. The first 4 months of this year is already higher than last year's total reported flu cases. Experts say the rise in the disease comes from a more potent strain and a less effective vaccine. According to the health department, the vaccine is still the best way to prevent getting the flu, but people can also take extra precautions such as washing your hands and not touching your face.
Again, bottom line, this year has been an extra tough year. It's a more virulent strain. The vaccination is a little less effective. So it's just the same old recommendations. Keep your hands washed. Stay healthy. If you're sick, stay home.
If you're looking for a lighthearted Valentine's date, SUU's student-run theater organization is opening a new show. Coming up next, our reporter Ansley Meixel sits down with Bella Giordano who plays Jenny in the show.
And later, we'll fill you in on the newest portraits in the National Gallery. Stay with us.
Here's your check. Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. Got it. No?
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early.
You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. You know, but it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, you know, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello? That's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
I'm a teacher. Let me tell you what I make. I make learning a privilege, not a chore, and frustration a tool, not an obstacle. I make working hard seem easy and giving up impossible. I make an old subject feel like a fresh thought and unconventional methods common. I'm a teacher. I make more.
Welcome back. SUU's student-run theater organization, Second Studio, puts on 4 shows every year.
Their first spring show opens this week, and Ansley Mikesell is with one of the actors to talk about the show.
Thank you, guys. I'm here with Assistant Cast Member Bella Giordano. Bella, you play the character Jenny, correct?
Yeah.
And do you have any similarities with Jenny in any way?
I do, actually. So when I was reading through the script, she is very robotic and she knows exactly what she's doing. And so at first she seems like very surface level, but as we got into the rehearsal process and I was doing a lot of character work, I found that, you know, she is human and she has those human qualities, and in the end we get to see her sort of like break down her walls a little bit, and I relate to that a lot because sometimes like everyone has this face that they put on, and I feel like that's how Jenny is, and that's kind of how I am sometimes, but when you get in those vulnerable moments, those walls come down.
Is it hard to find a connection with the roles you play, or how do you figure out your similarities to be able to relate to them?
I think I find the humanity, like I was saying, first in a character, and then from there go from how I feel about the character, and then I can start to relate to them and like adopt characteristics that they have, and then use some of my own personality traits and put that into the character as well.
Beautiful. And how do you personally prepare for a role when you're given a character? How do you start that process?
Well, I usually start by just memorizing the words, just flat out memorizing, and then that helps me get the text ingrained into my brain, and so I can just speak it as if it were myself, if that makes sense. And then I start to do all the character work, like adopting the physicality of the character, and like working on their backstory and all that kind of stuff.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. Do you ever get butterflies right before you perform?
I do, yeah. I do, and for me, I just roll with those butterflies and those nervous feelings because it just gives me more energy, and I would rather use that nervous energy rather than like trying to fight it. Yeah.
Okay, so it doesn't make you not want to go on stage at all?
No.
Wow. What would that be like? So you were telling me before that you have been acting all throughout high school.
Yeah.
How was those butterflies at the beginning when you first started acting?
At the beginning, it was really scary because you're putting your vulnerable self on stage in front of people. But I think making that disconnect between you being on stage and you as a character or somebody else is a lot easier than just thinking like, oh no, I'm on stage, I have to perform, rather than just, you know, going with it and rolling with your character and doing it, you know?
Nice. And with the play, are there any themes that you've seen acting in assistants that you think are important for this generation? Is there anything in the storyline that you think is a good takeaway?
So our boss, his name's Daniel, he is somebody who's not the greatest person, and he does whatever he can. He's very selfish, and he just wants to have power, and he just wants to succeed. But everybody in the office wants to be the best. They want to be his favorite. And I think that that's something that we see in our everyday lives. We all have those people that we look up to, or that we want to be, or that we want to like us. And so I think it's important to like take a step back from that and say, you know, I really need to stay true to who I am and not sacrifice my beliefs and my values for someone else and try to be someone that I'm not, you know?
Thank you. I appreciate you coming here on the show. Assistance is going to be all week long, starting from Wednesday to Saturday at 7 p.m. in the Second Studio Theater, and it's $5 a ticket. Back to you guys at the desk.
The National Portrait Gallery is now home to a new portrait of the 44th president. In a ceremony yesterday, Barack and Michelle Obama unveiled their first set of official portraits, the ones that will hang permanently in the National Portrait Gallery. Barack's portrait was done by Kehinde Wiley and depicts the former president sitting surrounded by greenery. Miss Obama is also sitting in her portrait, which was painted by Amy Sherald. Mr. and Miss Obama's official White House portraits will be released later this year.
The Trump administration is taking new steps to address one of Utah's biggest health crises. The opioid epidemic has been the leading cause of death in people under the age of 50 for the last 3 years. In Utah, 24 people die every month from opioid overdoses. Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein gave a press conference about the topic today.
According to our Centers for Disease Control, American Indian and Alaskan Native populations had one of the highest drug overdose death rates in 2015.
If you or anyone you know is in need of addiction treatment for opioids or any drugs, contact SUU Center for Counseling and Psychological Services.
Authorities are trying to understand the exact circumstances that led to an elk bringing down a helicopter last night. The helicopter was flying low to a ground near Current Creek Reservoir in Wasatch County when an elk hit the tail rotor of the chopper. The 2 men in the helicopter were uninjured. According to the Division of Wildlife Resources, the helicopter and pilots were contracted by the DWR to help manage local elk populations. The 2-man crew were attempting to sedate and net the elk when it jumped at the helicopter.
Crews are still cleaning up the remains of a helicopter crash from the Grand Canyon. 3 British tourists were killed and 4 more, including the pilot, were severely injured. The survivors were taken to University Medical Center in Las Vegas. The rescue effort was delayed due to the harsh terrain surrounding the crash site. Papillon Airways, the company who owned and operated the helicopter, flies roughly 600,000 passengers a year on tours of the Grand Canyon and surrounding areas. The FAA and the National Transportation Safety Board are still investigating the cause of the crash.
Coming up, Damon Day will let us know if snow we woke up to today is here to stay.
Stay tuned.
I'm a teacher. Let me tell you what I make. I make learning a privilege, not a chore, and frustration a tool, not an obstacle. I make working hard seem easy and giving up impossible. I make an old subject feel like a fresh thought and unconventional methods common. I'm a teacher. I make more.
Travel is part of the American way of life.
When we're on vacation, we keep an eye out for anything that looks out of place.
Miss your bag.
When we travel from city to city, we pay attention to our surroundings.
Everyone plays a role in keeping our community safe.
Whether you're traveling for business or pleasure, be aware of your surroundings. If you see something suspicious, say something to local authorities.
Really? Buzz, what's up, man? You left some leaves burning out here.
Yeah, I just just came in just for a second.
Come on, man. If it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave. You could torch the whole neighborhood.
It's a good point there, Smokey.
9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
For 3 months, I was being treated for high blood pressure and migraines, which were actually the symptoms. The cause was kidney disease. If you were a member of one of those high-risk groups, I would have your kidney function checked. Early detection can prevent further kidney damage. It was amazing even to my doctor how much diet impacted my personal disease. The power to reduce risk for kidney disease is in your hands. I just feel that my whole life has come back to me.
Think you found every hazard out here today? Think again. The spot you missed could be a killer. That spot on your skin could be skin cancer. If you're a man over 50, you're in a group most likely to develop skin cancer, including melanoma, the kind that kills one person every hour. That's why your best shot is to check for a spot. It's easy. Follow through and check your skin. Go to spotskincancer.org to find out how. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
Listen up. Each year, hundreds of promising research studies go unfunded for breast cancer, for lung cancer, every cancer. The American Cancer Society has been behind nearly every breakthrough in recent history. But there's still more work to do. So let's make sure that no research is silenced. Let's make noise. Let's make noise. Yeah. And let's finish the fight.
Toxic chemicals and carcinogens are leaching into the environment. It's happening right where we live, work, and play. Everywhere. Cigarette butts are toxic waste. Let's stop the toxic litter. Learn more at rethinkbutts.org.
I'm hungry. I can't see the board.
Good morning, class. Everyone ready to learn today?
Of course they aren't ready. Across America, health barriers keep millions of disadvantaged school children from learning. Children's Health Fund is working to remove those barriers. But to really change the odds for these kids, we need your help. To find out how you can give every child a chance to be healthy and ready to learn, visit childrenshealthfund.org today.
Life is made of moments. Family. A drunk driver could take it all away. Keep your family safe on the road, because after all, nothing is more beautiful. Mothers Against Drunk Driving. Keep your family safe.
Looking for these? You drive buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome to your Cedar City Weather Report. I'm Damon Day, bringing you your daily weather. So, last night we got some snow, but fortunately it's not here to stay. I know that's not good news for snowpack levels, but for people wanting to have warmer weather down here, last night was pretty much the only time it's going to snow. As for this weekend, we're looking at a really nice weekend in like the 50s. And so expect full of sunshine. And as for tomorrow on Valentine's Day, it's going to be a little chilly, so if you and your significant other are going to have plans tomorrow, you probably want to stay indoors. But as for next week, we're looking at a little bit of cloud cover and also in the 50s as well. So not too bad of a forecast coming up here. And as for our sunset and our sunrise, we're looking at, of course, longer days. We're getting closer and closer to that big spring day. And I hope you guys stay safe out there. The roads might be a little wet tonight and freeze over because of the melted snow. So everybody, I hope you have a wonderful day here. And Aaron, what's up in sports today?
Well, we've got some basketball and some gymnastics and more. Stay tuned.
So they say it's a man's world? I don't see anybody's name on it.
While they were doing their thing, we slowly changed all that.
Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
SUTV, I'm Aaron Peterson. The SUU men's basketball team picked up a road victory against Northern Arizona in Flagstaff on Saturday. With the win, the T-Birds now sit at 9th place in the Big Sky with a 4-8 conference record and a 10-13 overall record. The team travels to North Dakota on Thursday, followed by a road matchup with Northern Colorado this Saturday. The SUU women's basketball team fell into last place in the Big Sky after losing at home to Northern Arizona on Saturday. Their next game is against North Dakota on Thursday night at 6:30 in the America First Event Center. The Southern Utah gymnastics team was at home last Friday for their first of 2 meets in 4 days against the number 21 Cougars of BYU. Coming off their first win of the season at Central Michigan, the Flippin' Birds posted their highest score of the season at 196.8 on Friday. Two-time MRGC Beam Specialist of the Week, Megan McBride got things started with a career-high 9.9 on vault. Becky Rosa torched bars as well for SUU, posting a career high of 9.875. This huge score highlighted the Flippin' Birds bar lineup and pushed SUU ahead of the Cougars at the halfway point by 1/10. Beam and floor is where the tandem of Karen Gonzalez and Autumn Jorgensen stole the show for SUU. On beam, Karen Gonzalez scored a near-perfect 10 with a 9.95, followed by Jorgensen's 9.9. These two huge performances pushed the Flippin' Birds to a 3/10 lead that they would only build on heading into the last event. Karen Gonzalez and Autumn Jorgensen kept it rolling on the floor with 2 more 9.9s, followed by the second of the McBride twins, Madison, who posted a 9.875 to go along with McKenna Burnside's 9.875. The 196.8 to 196.45 win was SU's second against a ranked opponent this season and the second highest mark in school history. SUU football has revealed their 2018 recruiting class signings, showing a lot of depth. The 2018 class includes 30 new players, although many of them will serve church missions before playing at SUU. The offensive recruits include 2016 Arizona Gatorade Player of the Year Drayson Hall, who rushed for more than 4,500 yards and 65 touchdowns in his high school career for Higley. He also accounted for 518 points in his career and runs the 100-meter dash in 10.7 seconds. Hall will serve a 2-year Mormon mission before coming to SUU as a running back. According to 247sports.com, Hall chose SUU over offers from Army, Navy, Air Force, Arizona, Northern Arizona, Columbia, and Princeton. Another offensive recruit includes running back Sese Falila, younger brother of current SUU running back James Falila. The younger Falila rushed for over 1,700 yards and 25 touchdowns in 2017 for Kearns High School, averaging 162.1 yards per game. His career marks include almost 4,500 yards and 59 touchdowns on the ground, essentially breaking every school record his brother held before. Falila will also serve a 2-year Mormon mission before attending SUU. A full list of recruits can be found at SUUTbirds.com. The T-Birds will open the 2018 football season on September 1st when they face the North Alabama Lions at Eccles Coliseum in Cedar City. That's all I've got for us today. Join us next Thursday for a full half hour of national sports on Pardon Our Take. Back to you guys at the desk.
Coming up after the break, we'll tell you about the new deans at SUU.
And we'll let you know about the Chinese New Year celebrations. Stay tuned.
If you store your guns properly, I'll feel safer when I'm playing outside.
Safer when walking home.
I won't have to tell so many family members. I'm sorry.
I won't hear as many scary stories.
And I won't have to tell my kids. This isn't a drill.
Please.
Please, do it for us.
Your family, friends, and neighbors are all counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. Remember, always, lock it up. Visit ncpc.org.
If you keep tanning, indoors or out, the effects of harmful rays will show up on your skin. Wrinkles, age spots, and an increased risk of melanoma, the second most common cancer in women 15 to 29. Stop tanning. Time may not be on your side. Learn how to protect your skin at spotskincancer.org. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
SUU's Confucius Institute is ringing in the new year on campus. The Institute held an event celebrating the Chinese New Year last Wednesday in the Heritage Center. Xiaolei Wang played a song about the phoenix on a suola, a traditional Chinese instrument. Xingqing Yang did Chinese acrobatics, holding 11 small cups on her nose for 2 minutes. Hai Tao Mei and Dan Mao performed a short traditional operatic story. This Thursday is Chinese New Year, and SUU will celebrate the Lunar New Year.
SUU's interim business dean will soon become the School of Business's official leader. Our reporter Jenna Chapman takes us into the classroom with Mary Pearson.
Generally, it's a fixed cost. Sure. Mary Pearson has worked as a professor of accounting at SUU for 18 years. She is excited for her new role as dean. Pearson wants to create pathways for students from the bachelor's program to employment or graduate programs.
Well, right now, I'm starting to work with my faculty and my department chairs in talking to students early on in their education, in their freshman, sophomore year, and having them identify earlier on what career path they would like to take. And from there, what we'd like to do is start by aligning your freshman year. Here are some things that you should be doing your freshman year. You should be participating in career fairs. You should be taking a BA 1000 class that introduces you on how to create a professional resume. Your sophomore year, you should be involved in different clubs within the School of Business that start to introduce you to careers within your major and within your discipline. Your junior year, you should have acquired an internship, and you should be working towards getting internships and practical experience. And your senior year should be all about recruiting and employment efforts for you. Where do you want to go to work? And laying that out.
Many students have already experienced this mentoring in an informal setting. Levi Brown, a senior accounting major, is looking forward to the implementation of this mentoring in all the programs.
I think she's done a great job, and I think the accounting program within the School of Business is already fairly well set up in that. You see, like, most of the kids come out with jobs with firms or wherever else they want to go. So I think progress in the other degrees in the business school would be great. And I think she's going to continue to improve the accounting program and open it up to more markets right now. You see a lot of kids either up in Salt Lake or Vegas, but there's a lot that have desires, myself included, to go other places. And I've already seen just in conversation with her that she's working with people to open up those avenues for us.
Dean Pearson plans on building more relationships with employers and training the professors and advisors on ways they can help the students find their career path. For SUTV News, I'm Jenna Chapman.
Thanks for watching. Join us on Thursday for an Olympic edition of The Other Show. Why was everyone making